Ever since the Skywalker saga, Star Wars hasn't been able to find any success with its movies. But on the other hand, their TV shows are basically thriving. So what's going on? Why aren't their movies on the same level as their TV shows? Well, that's exactly what we'll be looking at in today's video. So let's get right into it. First up, they aren't focusing on movies. Star Wars were one of the biggest movie franchises in the world. So why haven't they been releasing any for so long? Well, it's all because of the last movie they released, The Rise of Skywalker. Everyone was expecting this movie to be one of the best Star Wars movies ever made, and it had a huge budget too. But when The Rise of Skywalker was released, people were left disappointed. It seemed like Lucasfilm was using old ideas from some of their previous movies, and the changes they made to some of the characters weren't well received. It became clear that Lucasfilm had failed to deliver on expectations. It was just one big mess. In light of this disappointing reaction, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy announced that instead of making more movies, they'd be focusing most of their energy on creating shows and series. Even though this was the smarter move, considering the movies had been at an all-time low, it didn't make all of the Star Wars fans happy. Most would rather see a good movie rather than a good TV show, but that seems impossible for a while. Coming up, multiple failed movies. It wasn't just the Rise of Skywalker movie that failed, it was multiple failed movies, which is why Lucasfilm made the decision to focus on shows instead. One of them was Solo, a Star Wars story. This movie got really positive reviews from the critics, which is why it's so surprising that the movie did so badly at the box office. It only made $393.2 million worldwide, which is considered a flop for Star Wars, and so all chances for a Solo sequel ended. Despite this, the writer of the movie, Jonathan Kasdan, still wants a sequel. Although the chances for one are very low, he's still hoping for one. Kasdan thinks the reason why Solo, a Star Wars story, failed was because viewers didn't connect with the Alden Ehrenreich's version of Han Solo, since this was the first time we ever saw his version of the character. A sequel would allow Ehrenreich to properly embody the character more like Harrison Ford, a performance that millions of people around the world know and adore. No matter how good a Solo sequel sounds, it's highly unlikely to happen anytime soon. After the reception of Solo, a Star Wars story, and the end of the Skywalker saga, Lucasfilm has shifted its attention towards developing stories for television instead. Like what was initially supposed to be a spin-off movie about Obi-Wan Kenobi ended up being a limited series after Solo's commercial failure. While there have been reports of other Star Wars films in development, Solo 2 isn't one of them and doesn't seem to be a priority for Lucasfilm at this time. Up next, they keep pushing the movies. Star Wars TV shows have been on the rise recently. Andor, Mandalorian, and even more to come. But one thing that's been missing from the scenes is the movies, which is insane since that's all they used to make back then. You'd look forward to a new Star Wars movie every single year, but now they're rarely seen. And what makes things even worse is that every new announcement only seems to push the release date further and further away. It's weird because Lucasfilm revealed many Star Wars movies a couple of years back, promising the release of the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy, the Kevin Feige Star Wars film, and the Rogue Squadron movie. But where are the movies? Well, we don't know either. They haven't been following up on these, and many people think the movies will just end up getting canceled altogether. The wait for the much-anticipated Star Wars trilogy from director Rian Johnson has been painfully long. Ever since it was announced back in 2017, fans have been eagerly awaiting the release of the new films. Unfortunately, with Johnson's recent deal to make 2 Knives Out sequels with Netflix, it seemed like the trilogy might never see the light of day. But Johnson was quick to reassure everyone that the project was still very much in the works. It was just taking a little longer than originally anticipated. Well, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy revealed that this delay is because of Johnson's involvement with Netflix and his busy schedule. But this still doesn't explain why 4 years passed between the announcement of the trilogy and Johnson's contract with Netflix. Moving on, their TV shows are all the hype. Although Lucasfilm is on a break from making movies at the moment, there are still quite a few Star Wars TV shows that we can watch in the meantime, and they're doing really well. One of the most hyped shows is Andor, especially since Diego Luna is set to reprise his role as Cassian Andor in the series. It'll be set 5 years before the events of Rogue One. Another highly anticipated show is Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson. After her fan-favorite character in The Mandalorian, the team behind Star Wars figured it would be a good idea to give her her own show. On top of this, there are already plans for another season of The Mandalorian. People have been going crazy over the surprise credit scene after the finale of the Book of Boba Fett, and we're ready to see Pedro Pascal come back once again. The success of this show is one of the reasons why Lucasfilm has been investing more in television series rather than films. We know that that it's safer for them to continue releasing TV shows like The Mandalorian than take a risk with another movie like Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And we all know how that went. Unless they fix the problem with their movies, it doesn't really seem like we're going to see a successful one anytime soon. Coming up, Rogue Squadron might get canceled. Lucasfilm has been delaying multiple movies that were announced years ago. The Rogue Squadron movie was a huge deal for Star Wars fans when it was announced in 2020 at Disney Investors Day by Kathleen Kennedy. It was slated to be the first movie of the post-Skywalker saga, and everyone was excited about the release. The film immediately shot up in popularity and even made its way onto the Disney theatrical release schedule, so we were all definitely looking forward to seeing it. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned, and the production was put on hold because of multiple reasons. If we had gotten lucky, then this movie could have seen a theatrical release just next year. Rogue Squadron was supposed to be on the 22nd of December 2023, but it was delayed because of the pandemic. To make matters worse, a Hollywood reporter recently revealed that the movie was delayed further because of creative differences in the script. This has led to speculation that Disney may scrap the movie and go straight to TV instead. But if they do decide to go ahead with it, fans can expect it to be released in 2025. Until Disney makes an official announcement, no one can be sure which way it'll go, and that's probably what makes people even more anxious. Next, movies aren't gone for good. Even though Lucasfilm seems to be taking a break from movies, it doesn't mean they're gone forever. They'll just be delayed for a couple of years so they can focus on the multiple Disney Plus shows that expand the Star Wars universe. There are many theories and rumors about the future of Star Wars films, but there's not much confirmation from Lucasfilm yet, and no one knows for sure what direction they'll be taking with their upcoming projects, since Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy is still looking for someone to oversee the plan. Lucasfilm and Disney just recently announced the release dates for their 3 upcoming movies. Although no one really trusts these dates, considering everything that's happened before. The trilogy is set to hit theaters in the next 5 years with a bi-yearly release plan. This means more waiting, but hopefully also higher quality films. The first movie will be released on December 22nd, 2023, followed by Rogue Squadron on December 19th, 2025, and the third movie on December 17th, 2027. Finally, what movies can we expect in the future? Taika Waititi has been working on his upcoming Star Wars movie for quite some time now, and expectations are extremely high. In a recent update, Waititi revealed more about his project, which has been kept tightly under wraps in the classic Lucasfilm style. This news has sparked speculation that either this movie or Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron could be the next big Star Wars feature. Waititi is no stranger to the Star Wars universe, having directed the finale of The Mandalorian Season 1. He's best known for his Marvel movies, specifically Thor: Ragnarok, and we're looking forward to seeing what he can do with a Star Wars movie. That's it for today's video. Do you think Star Wars is making the right decision by delaying its movies? Make sure to let us know in the comments below. As always, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you at the next one.